One Zambia, one nation. Welcome to Zanis News. I'm Alice Banda to be with you. Let's take a look at the stories that made headline. RIA to spend 56 million kwacha towards electrification of projects in Northwestern Province. Prospective teachers swarm ECZ for certification of credentials. And Zambia unveils jersey for World Baseball Youth Tournament. And now the news in detail. We begin our bulletin with an item from Northwestern Province. The Rural Electrification Authority, RIA, is expected to spend about 56 million kwacha towards electrification of projects in Northwestern Province for the year 2023. RIA Chief Executive Officer Linus Chanda disclosed this when he paid a courtesy call on Northwestern Province Permanent Secretary. Mr. Chanda said the project includes 7 grid extension projects and 6 off-grid projects. Notable among them is the electrification of Meheba refugee camp, which is being co-financed with the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees, UNHCR. Meanwhile, Northwestern Province Permanent Secretary Colonel Grandson Katambi has expressed gratitude to RIA for the projects being undertaken in the province. Colonel Katambi specifically pointed out Zambezi West, which needs electrification as it has been left out for a long time.
The area that this office oversees, we allocated for 2023, we allocated over 96 million kwacha to carry out projects. In particular for Northwestern Province, PS, we are spending over 56 million to do 7 grid extension projects and 6 off-grid projects.
You are coming on board. I think things are brightening up. You already see the palaces at night, well lit across there. And it's our prayers that you do not just end here, but extend to places like Chinyamanitapi. Let people also start, feeling belonging.
Lusaka Province Minister Sheo Muliata has commended the Zambia Water Sanitation and Hygiene Washe Advocacy Network, a civil society organization for championing sanitation and hygiene in Lusaka Province. Ms. Muliata says the demand for water is rising owing to the rapid growth in the population, urbanization, and increasing water needs for agriculture, industry, and energy sectors, calling for more stakeholders to come on board and work with the government. She was speaking in a speech read on her behalf by Lusaka Province Deputy Permanent Secretary Alex Mapushi at Kafwa Community School in Guerrero Ward 22 in Mandevu constituency during the Hygiene Promotion Sensitization Awareness Program. Government, through the Ministry of Justice, has launched a new legal aid board office in Bala district of Northern Province. Minister of Justice Mlambo Haimbe, who was the guest of honor at the event, says government is committed to ensuring that access to justice is attained by every citizen. More in the following report.
In a quest to take legal services closer to people, government, through the Ministry of Justice, has embarked on an ambitious program of opening new legal aid board offices in 5 different districts of the country. It is for this reason that Minister of Justice was in Imbala district of Michinga Province to officially launch a new legal aid board office.
Today's inauguration of legal aid board offices reflects the unwavering dedication of the New Dawn government to uphold principles of justice and the rule of law, as I mentioned earlier. The legal aid offices we are opening here in Bala today, and indeed earlier in Akonde, will serve as a beacon of hope and justice for the people in these areas. Mbala district, like many other districts in the country, may have some challenges in accessing legal services But I'm here to assure all of you that government is working to ensure that the gap is closed and that legal aid is available to all Zambians.
And Legal Aid Board Chairperson explained more about the legal aid services.
As a board, we are cognizant of not only our widened portfolio and mandate, pursuant to the Legal Aid Act, which provides, among others, for the functions of the Legal Aid Board covering both civil and criminal matters, but also of the government's desire to decentralize functions in a quest to ensure that services are brought close to the people that desire them. The foregoing, coupled with the introduction of the Children Code Act of 2022, has inevitably increased the demand for legal aid services, granted the need for the presence of an advocate whenever matters of a child in conflict with the law arise.
Meanwhile, Kapompo Community Welfare Assistant Committee Chairperson expressed joy over the new development.
Working with the community here in Mbala, and now with the coming of this legal aid, we shall be able to help the legal aid board to disseminate information to the public, because we are always with them. So in any case, I'm thinking we shall be very helpful, including my fellow community.
The newly launched Legal Aid Board office in Mbala district will play a significant role as an umbrella body for all institutions and civil society organizations that offer legal services in Zambia. Muna for Zanis in Mbala district of Mchinga province.
In Luangwa district, a 9-year-old boy of Kapyanika village has died after being attacked by a crocodile on the banks of the Luangwa River. The continued loss of lives to crocodiles in Luangwa has saddened authorities in the district. District Commissioner Luke Chikani said his office has directed national parks and wildlife officers to eliminate the reptile. More in this report.
Kapyanika residents of Luangwa district gathered by the banks of the Luangwa River with the hope of rescuing a 9-year-old boy who was attacked by a crocodile. The body of the boy was later retrieved after a search during the day. The grandmother to the deceased, Bettina Piri, named the late grandson as Evans Daka, a grade 4 pupil of Mandombe Primary School. Miss Piri narrated how her grandson met his fate. The district administration and the civic leaders are saddened by the development.
As government, we are saddened with the development where young life has been taken away by a crocodile. We've just deployed wildlife officers to get rid of the creature.
The situation here is quite sad. There's just a crocodile attack. We've lost life. We normally have many challenges, especially goats have been killed.
The remains of the late Evans Daka have been deposited at Luangwa District Hospital mortuary, awaiting burial. The human-animal conflict cases have continued to be a concern to the people of Luangwa District.
The news continues. Following the 2023 teacher recruitment advert that has been published, prospective teachers have started turning up in numbers at the Examination Council of Zambia ECZ to certify their grade 12 certificates. A check by Zanis at ECZ Service Center in Lusaka found prospective teachers lined up to get the services. And Teaching Service Commission Chairperson Daphne Chimuka has warned scammers who are in a habit of swindling applicants ahead of the recruitment exercise. Details in the following report by Namukale Nachitalwe.
This was a prevailing situation here at the Examination Council of Zambia ECZ Service Center in Lusaka. These are prospective teachers who have come to verify their grade 12 results following the 2023 teacher recruitment advert that has been published today.
Today in the morning, I just heard about the good news about teacher recruitment. Yeah, so I'm also planning to apply for that. I'm here to certify my results.
Program ili bwino but naive iliko slow, siliko fast. Peza time ili slow kuti uchitike vamene ofuna. Fast kaya nchani.
ECZ Public Relations Manager Nicholas Nkuwa said the Commission is ready to render different services to the applicants.
Right here, I think the situation is calm and the process is going on smoothly. And of course, we know that there is quite some anxiety among the applicants, but we want to ask them to be calm and just allow us to do the work that we do, to make sure that we release quality verified results, because we don't want anyone to be found wanting after this process.
The Teaching Service Commission chairperson, Daphne Chimuka, has since warned scammers ahead of the recruitment exercise.
I want to once again alert the applicants that there are a lot of people who want to solicit money at different levels, different times. We want to alert them that we do not accept any money for any service that we do as teaching service. The Ministry of Education does not take money for any service that they do. ECZ, TCZ, they all don't solicit for money. So let nobody go to anybody and say, well, someone at the teaching service sent me to come and get money so that you are given a job. No. These jobs are there for Zambians.
Meanwhile, the Zambia Police Service has also appealed to applicants to have their fingerprints done from their nearest police stations.
I want to appeal to all the applicants that they should please go to the various police stations where they are going to have their fingerprints lifted, and then they will leave them there, and then the police will bring them over to police headquarters for processing. We don't want to have a situation where people are coming here to congest the place where their fingerprints are supposed to be processed.
During the official opening of the 13th session of the National Assembly this month, President Hakainde Hichilema announced that government will this year employ 3,000 health workers and 4,500 teachers. Namkale Nachtalwe reporting for Zanis in Lusaka.
In health news, Lusaka District Health Office has launched the deworming exercise for school-going children. District Public Health Specialist Hendrix Lubasi says that the deworming exercise is aimed at ensuring the well-being of school-going children. Dr. Lubasi was speaking in an interview with the Zambia News and Information Service, Zanis, after the launch at Chimwemwe Primary School in Chawama. Meanwhile, school head teacher Jonathan Carter has commended the Ministry of Health for rolling out the deworming program for school-going children.
So we are giving children deworming medication to ensure they are healthy, and we have realized that if education succeeds, then we shall succeed also even as a nation. And so we have undertaken this activity to just ensure our children are protected, are prevented and treated against these worms, so that we have a healthy nation and ultimately a wealthy nation.
What this means is that their attendance to school will be improved upon, because they will rarely miss lessons because of being in discomfort by the effects of the worms. And it will be a benefit for them because they will have more time contact with their teachers. And equally the teachers also who will take the deworming tablets, they will equally have an improvement upon their health, because this is an honor, especially that considering Lusaka has over 140 government schools, to be picked from the 140 and launching a launch on behalf of the other schools. We encourage that the other head teachers equally take it upon themselves and speak to their learners, encourage them to be dewormed, so that the contact period with them is not missed but is enhanced upon.
It will help me in so many ways. As for now, I'll be healthy and I won't be missing lessons. I would just encourage some parents, just let their children be dewormed. Otherwise, it will be very healthy for their children.
And in gender news, all the 39 traditional leaders in Luapula province have agreed to come up with harmonized customary laws aimed at fighting sexual and gender-based violence, SGBV. Speaking during the launch of the bylaws, Luapula Province Council of Chiefs Chairperson Chief Chisunka has urged traditional leaders in the province to ensure that they fully enforce the bylaws in their respective chiefdoms. More in the following report by Kennedy Chomba.
There's no doubt that some traditional practices promote sexual and gender-based violence in communities. Realizing this fact, 39 traditional leaders in Luapula Province have agreed to come up with harmonized customary laws which will help in the fight against SGBV in their respective chiefdoms. Receipt Chamber's managing partner, Maimbo Ziera, has commended traditional leaders in the province for their willingness to come up with harmonized customary laws.
We must say this particular action is one that marks a milestone not just in the province but in the country. In the fight against gender-based violence, it has been something that has been noted and mentioned over and over, how we have been fighting gender-based crimes because of some of the practices that we have had in our own customary laws. And what has happened in this particular province is something that sets a difference to the fight.
Traditional leaders in Luapula Province are optimistic that the harmonized customary laws will help to reduce SGBV cases in their chiefdoms.
Today, we are not just launching a set of customary laws, but we are taking a decisive stance against SGBV by challenging and changing our beliefs, attitudes, and practices that encourage SGBV and discrimination. We are declaring in one voice as the Luapula Royal Highnesses that violence and discrimination will not be tolerated within our chiefdoms and communities.
And Luapula Province Permanent Secretary Knight Mumba says government will continue formulating laws which are aimed at curbing SGBV in the country.
The government of the Republic of Zambia would like to extend special gratitude to all the government line ministries, Zambia World Development Commission and Natwakane Program in assisting the traditional leadership in coming up with customary laws which don't perpetuate traditional harmful practices and protects women and children and all vulnerable groups in their chiefdoms in Luapula Province.
The harmonization of customary laws is one of the great achievements of the Natwakane project in Luapula Province. Kennedy Chomba reporting for Zanis News in Mansa District.
In a related development, stakeholders in Gwembe District have expressed concern over the high rate of teenage pregnancies and are calling for intense sensitization campaigns. The stakeholders have attributed the high incident rate of teenage pregnancies to continued traditional initiation practices such as Nkolola ceremony and a high number of drinking places in the district. More in the following report.
Early marriages and teenage pregnancies are increasing social and economic challenges that communities, especially rural districts, are grappling with. These challenges need concerted multi-sectoral interventions in order to arrest the negative repercussions on economic development. Here in Gwembe District, Southern Province, the situation is not different from what other communities are experiencing. Stakeholders have converged in Chamwe and Snafara wards to discuss possible ways of curbing the vice.
It has come to our attention to say that teenage pregnancies, yes, are escalating in our district. There are interventions that are done as a district and as facilities that are involved in this reducing these teenage pregnancies as well as the early marriages. These interventions include school outreaches.
The stakeholders also received reports on incident rate of teenage pregnancies in selected wards.
Last year, 2022, quarter one, we recorded antenatal bookings, 33. Out of the 33, 26 were adolescents. So currently in this year, 2023, in quarter one, we recorded 47 cases, but out of the 47, only 27 out of the 47 were adolescents. So when we are looking at the percentages, you discover that in the previous quarter, in quarter 1 and quarter 2, we were at 85%. But currently in quarter 1 and quarter 2, we are at 48%.
Nafala Rural Health Center is a facility that serves a population of 5,858, of which 38% of its population are adolescents.
But what are the key drivers of the teenage pregnancies in these areas?
We'll see that there's a lot that we need to do through the Chief Affairs representative in terms of community sensitization, changing some harmful traditional practices, such as the concerts in Corolla, which exacerbates the teenagers getting pregnant when the Corollas are being celebrated during school days.
So tatuyandi kuti bana gaba mitape, especially bana basimbi, imwana musimbi ulisiena amwana musangwa.
Brian Kapuka reporting in Gwembe District, Southern Province.
The news continues. Copperbelt Province Minister Elisha Matambo says the region has received over 5,000 tons of D-compound fertilizer, which will benefit over 93,000 farmers in all the 10 districts. Mr. Matambo said this in a speech read on his behalf by Copperbelt Province Permanent Secretary Augustine Kasongo during the second quarter Provincial Development Coordinating Committee meeting in Dola. In CDF news, over 2 million Kwacha Constituency Development Fund CDF empowerment grants and loans have been handed over to 200 beneficiaries and 71 cooperatives, clubs and groups from various wards of Siavonga constituency in Siavonga district. Speaking when he handed over the CDF grants and loans, Siavonga Member of Parliament Darius Molunda says the disbursement of the empowerment funds reaffirms government's commitment to improving livelihoods without discrimination. More in the following report.
The Constituents Development Fund CDF has continued to benefit people in different facets of life. In Siavonga district, about 71 beneficiaries have benefited from CDF grants and loans empowerment of over 2 million kwacha dispersed across various wards in the constituents. Area Member of Parliament Darius Mulunda handed over the checks to the beneficiaries, flanked off by Siavonga District Commissioner Geoffrey Jacopo.
Ibantu berede kupegwa malibuzi wabwasunu bali 262. Lino imali no bantu agajeya chomwabona kuti sunutwa pabyo ima clubs na ma cooperatives ali 71 pere twakakala anto omwe twagamba kuti abababola ibayika chite apply mu 2024 tuyoba imiga mbichani tuyanda kuti first tukabadele bantu bateni abayabajala buzwa bwa sunu
aya mali twapegwa atu making sure kuti hintu yotujita hilaba hintu hiti tusumpule mumaumesu muri mbotupona.
Both Siavonga Council Chairperson and the CDF Chairman wants more clubs and cooperatives formed for more people to benefit.
There's no segregation in that even those who thought it was not possible, they are able to see the possibilities. Or what I'm telling them, that let them come together so that we build a greater Zambia.
It's supposed to be invested so that your challenges are sorted out today. They should help you in the future.
And the beneficiaries expressed gratitude to government for the loan initiative.
Twapegwa chintu chimwe chakuti intaliho yesu chakuti natwali pe party day ndikuti twatalika twalumbaka party.
Kwengusha Pande reporting in Siavonga district, Southern Province.
Still on CDF, government through the Mpika Central Constituency Development Fund CDF Committee is spending a total of over 173,000 kwacha in bursaries each year for 7 pupils at Luitikila Girls Secondary School and 7 students at Zambia Agricultural College in Mpika, and Luitikila Girls Secondary School head teacher sister Clementine Piri has told the CDF monitoring team led by Muchinga Permanent Secretary Henley Mukungule that the bursary component is working very well. Chilanga Town Council has conducted a capacity building engagement for the 2023 loans and grants beneficiaries from the 12 wards across the district. Financial consultant Charity Chikumbi says government wants to change the lives of people, especially in the rural areas. Details in the following report.
Capacity building is defined as the process of developing and strengthening the skills, instincts, abilities, processes, and resources that organizations and communities need to survive, adapt, and thrive in a fast-changing world. Chilanga Town Council, with the help of local leaders and experts, has conducted a capacity building meeting for the beneficiaries of empowerment funds for loans and grants from the 2023 Constituency Development Fund, CDF.
Chilanga Town Council has organized a training for all those who were given grants under the 2023 CDF. So this training will help most of those, the beneficiaries, to learn more on finance literacy and also how to look after their various animals that they'll start rearing. So we hope the monies that they are being given, the grants, the 40,000 that they are being given, will be put into good use, because now they will know how to differentiate money for their projects and money for home use.
People who know how to utilize their money, what they need to understand is that when they get this money, it must be used properly so that it can change their lives. That's why you hear that most of the people are saying CDF is a game changer. So before people get this money or access this money, they must be taught on how to use their money, and they must understand that this money is a grant which must be used properly. And that way, in the next few years, you see that since we have belonged to Chilanga, Chilanga will not be the same.
And he wants to change your life to households in the rural settings, and they're giving you it's empowerment. You have the power. Make sure you don't just eat it, go shopping, buy the chocolate you haven't eaten, have milk for breakfast every day. No, first of all, use the money to generate income. They want you to live well forever, not just to get the money, use it and have a good time. In the 2 months you have the access. So we want you to create wealth that will transform the economy. This is about economic recovery. It starts from house.
The beneficiaries explain the knowledge acquired from the capacity building engagement.
We have learned on how to budget, how to save, explained on the downflow of the business and what can help us when we have a downflow. That's when we can apply for a loan. But when your business is just okay, there's no need of getting a loan. Better you concentrate with the same money you are having.
Saving. Wamine wake chamini ufu na babuni wake makala wa saving ako drama yalenti like blah chani bintu so chape za businesses mankalazika zaba kuti marenti bimankalabeka ukuliko waona wamine wake apatonza chita ichi na ichi ngati nkuku zanua saving amo wamune wazazi watifiti uzasensa ingati uzaona chamine uzaona oti nkuku zako zakupasa raise zingati manje pamene wafika pamanje pamene wazidiyesera mu wiki yokonka.
It is hoped that the knowledge acquired from the meeting will be applied appropriately to uplift the living standards of the beneficiaries. Nkwetoka Pekele, Zanis, Chilanga.
In entertainment news, government says it will continue to prioritize the skills empowerment agenda of citizens in different fields, including music and arts, to achieve national development. Speaking during the launch of the 3-day U.S. Embassy Music Entrepreneurship Workshop in Solwezi District, Northwestern Province Permanent Secretary Grandson Katambi said it is for this reason that government has increased the Constituency Development Fund CDF allocation to ensure part of the component is channeled to skills development. Details in this report by Mary Njovo.
For you to die for me.
Music and arts play an important role in transforming livelihoods and promoting unity. For this reason, the U.S. Embassy has embarked on a 3-day capacity building program for local artists in Northwestern Province.
The idea is that musicians can learn
about professionalism in the music sector. They can learn about branding, they can learn about marketing, they can learn about network development in many other sectors, in many other areas in music, so that they can be more successful. Because our thinking at the embassy is that when artists develop their skills, they help to contribute to employment.
And Northwestern Province Permanent Secretary Grandson Katambi has urged local artists to embrace music and take it as a business. The Permanent Secretary said this through his representative, Assistant Secretary Bonwe Njungu.
Music businesses are bigger sources of income that can change our livelihood if properly undertaken. A lot of employment can be created and reduced on levels of poverty among practitioners.
And Zambia Association of Musicians acting provincial chairperson also shared the challenges local artists are facing.
The first challenge is that most of our local artists, myself included, have a challenge with finances. Because music, like anything else, is a business, so it requires input and output. So the input is financial muscle to buy musical equipment that we need for musical production.
Indeed, if well harnessed, music can be a source of employment and revenue for national development. For Zanis, in Wedsday District, Northwestern Province, I am Erin Lovo.
Finally, in sports, the Zambia Baseball and Softball Association, ZBSA, has unveiled the home underwear jersey to be used by the Zambia Under-18 baseball team at the Baseball Youth World Cup. Zambia will be participating in the inaugural Youth Baseball World Cup in Ankara, Turkey from the 10th to the 15th of October 2023. The kits have been sponsored by Playoff, an Italian company specialized in baseball and softball clothing and equipment distribution. Speaking in an interview after receiving the kits, ZBSA General Secretary Kenny Matishi has thanked Playoff for the kits. Matishi has described the sponsorship as one of the best gifts the association has ever received, which will go a long way in the development of baseball and softball in the country. Meanwhile, Playoff chief visionary Valeria Botolomai said the organization is happy to sponsor the team with the baseball kits in order to help develop the sport in Zambia and the world at large. As we end the news, let's take a look at the stories that made headline. RIA to spend 56 million kwacha towards electrification of projects in Northwestern Province. Prospective teachers swarm ECZ for certification of credentials. And Zambia unveils jersey for World Baseball Youth Tournament. This is where we end Zanis News. On behalf of the entire Zanis production crew, I'm Alice Banda saying goodbye and God bless you.